Urban Therapy with Sun752. This is your daily go-getterism number 639 for July 3rd, 2016. All right, we got a little question that's on the table. It's been very controversial today. And the question is, do single mothers allow their kids to sleep in the bed with them to compensate for a man not being in the home? That's the question. Do our single mothers allow their kids to sleep in the bed with them because they don't have a man at home sleeping in the bed with them? I think it's a valid question. People been coming at my neck all day about this today, though. I can't really blame them because it almost sounds like I'm questioning somebody's ways that they raise their children, or am I questioning your parenting skills and all of that? I'm not doing all of that. You know, as long as you raise your children to the point where they're well adjusted, where they don't have psychological problems, where they don't suffer, where they're not being abused, where they don't have emotional problems and things like that, which is hard to do, even if you are the best parent in the world. But you know, as a parent myself, we always have to put ourselves in situations where we question the things that we do, because we have to be sure. Because when we get it wrong, then we affect the next generation. So that's the question that's on the table tonight. When we allow our children to sleep with us, because some men do that too, but it's sort of like a double standard. And it really is a double standard, because a woman can have her sons or her daughters sleep in the same bed with her, and nobody really, you know, bats an eye at that. You know, some people might think that, nah, that ain't cool, because look, you know, when my man come over, we gonna get it down like that, and you know, the kids got to be up out of there. So if I don't get them to sleeping in the bed with me, then I don't have to get them out of the bed with me, which is understandable as well. But the bottom line is, women can have their children sleep in the bed with them almost damn near till they're grown. I've seen it happen, and nobody says anything about it. But a man can't really do the same thing. We look at men in a different kind of way when it comes to single fatherhood and the things that he may do, the tactics that he may employ when it comes to being a single father. Now, if a single father has a bunch of daughters that he allows to sleep in the same bed with him every night, people are going to be looking at that a little bit differently. They're going to be looking at that a little bit funny, like, let us make sure that it ain't no monkey business going on, because that ain't really right. You know what I mean? You know, people question men when they have a daughter, and they ask questions like, well, how is he going to wash her up when she starts getting to a certain age? How does a man show a little girl how to wash her parts properly? You know, so, but nobody asks a woman how she teaches her little boys how to wash themselves properly. It's a double standard, and it is what it is. But that's why we have this question on the table, because we have to take a hard look at the things that we do as parents. Now, if you have a situation at home where you have been allowing your children to sleep in the bed with you since you were nursing them. Let's say you were breastfeeding. You know, you breastfeeding your babies, and of course they're going to be in bed with you. Even if you're not breastfeeding them. A lot of women allow their kids to sleep in the bed with them because they want to make sure that they are safe and comfortable with them in their own bed. Now, medical professionals will tell you that it's not safe to have your young infant children in the bed with you, because you could roll over and crush them and kill them. But a lot of women who let their children sleep with them will tell you in a heartbeat that, no, I need my children in the bed with me to make sure that they don't suffer sudden infant syndrome, you know, sudden infant death, you know, syndrome or whatever. You know, that it's hard to tell a mother that she doesn't know how to take care of her children. I get all of that. Now, when we have the situation where the children have been in the bed with the mother since the nursing days or since the bottle days, and you know they're getting a little bit older. Now, there's no man in the house. Let's say, you know, you're not cohabitating. You don't have a steady boyfriend or anything like that. Somebody who comes over to the house, spends a lot of time, and stays the night every now and then. then it's not going to shake up anything as far as your children sleeping in the same bed with you. But what happens when you get a man and he starts coming over regularly? That can be shocking to the family structure, the core culture of the family, that in and of itself. But then when he starts staying the night, and now they can't sleep in the bed with mommy because Mr. Kareem, Mr. Hakeem, or Mr. Dave, Mr. Troy, Mr. Jeff, Mr. Rob, because they in the bed with mommy. Kids start feeling some kind of way. Now that man has the potential to become the enemy of the family, because now we gotta sleep in our own rooms, and that's not something we've been taught to do. We ain't never sleep in our own room. Now we gotta sleep in our own room because he in there. What time he leaving? And what's going on in there anyway? That now they gotta lock the door. I can't just come and go as I want to. Questions arise, and he has the potential to become the bad guy. So it's a situation that we have to take a look at, because when it comes to children, we have to explain things at certain points. As they start to grow up, they have to be taught, because they have to learn, and they're definitely going to ask questions. We have to come up with the answers. We can't blow them off. We can't brush them off. We can't just delay it. We can't just act like things are exactly the same when they are visibly changing or different. So how does it go? How does it go? Do the kids are the kids unable to sleep in the bed with mommy like they do on a regular basis when the mister comes through? And how often does he come through? Is this going to be a permanent change, or is this just something that happens every now and then? Like, is he moving in, or is he just coming through every now and then? Get a little something, whatever, but he still has his own spot. Something that we have to look at. Are children compensating for a lack of men in the home? Because there are some homes, some households, where a man has never come through. Mommy don't never have a boyfriend. We don't never see no man come through. So we sleep in the bed with mommy. That's what we do. It could be because we're afraid of the dark. It could be because we have really bad nightmares. Little do we know that mommy's probably afraid of the dark too. Or mommy probably has really bad nightmares and she's uncomfortable sleeping all by herself. But she don't have a man at the crib, so, the kids sleeping in the bed with her. They're not sleeping in the bed as a man, per se. But some people are more comfortable, having somebody close to them when they sleep in bed. And, this deserves a hard look, because there are a lot of people, there are a lot of women that I know personally who would let their kids sleep with them. It is what it is. So, is that because they don't have... Now, by the way, one thing about putting this question out today, one thing that I found out is that a lot of married couples, or a lot of cohabitating couples, allow their children to sleep in the bed with them too. So, I mean, I'm not really trying to pass judgment on this thing. I'm just trying to ask a question, because we all got to learn, and that's what we do. That's what this movement is all about. It's about learning about ourselves. So we got to put things out there that allow us to learn. Some of us don't like new information. We don't like to have to take a hard look at the things that we do. But hey, there comes a time when we got to do all that. So this is what we're going to do. So if it's a situation where a couple is comfortable with the kids sleeping in the bed with them, that's all right with me. Sure, if it's a situation where it's not a couple and they allow the kids to sleep with them, that's all right with me too. Now, is that my thing? Probably not. It doesn't mean that it's wrong. It doesn't mean that it's right. Things play out the way that they play out, and as long as the parties involved are okay with that, then I'm okay with it. However, I do think that there's a certain point in time when the kids need to be able to sleep in their own room, in their own bed, because that's what life is going to be like for them. If they go away to college, and sleep, and they live in the dorms. They're not going to have mommy or their other siblings sleeping in the bed with them, so they may suffer some really bad adjustment problems. So we have to work those kind of things out before it gets to that point. Same thing if they go away to the army. The military is a very tough place for children who aren't independent, because the military don't give a shit about any of that. So, we have to do what's necessary to make sure that our children are prepared for the real world once they have to get out there and experience the real world. So let's think about the question. We'll kick it around a little bit. Y'all can add things in the comments and all of that. Y'all know. It's whatever, man. It's open dialogue. I just want to know. Are children in the bedroom because there's no man in the bedroom or no man in the house? I'm not saying there ain't nothing freaky going on, ain't none of that going on. Not saying that you're making the little boys the men of the house before they're able to take on that kind of responsibility. Now, I'm not talking about any of those social things that people think that I'm trying to imply. I'm not trying to say none of that. You're just asking the question. There comes a time when we have to look at the things that we do. And everything, it's not a situation where everybody's always trying to come at your neck. Stop being so sensitive. Why everybody gotta be all extra sensitive? Anyway, good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, the question is still on the table. Are children in the bed to replace or to compensate for no man in the bed, no man in the household? What happens when a man does come through? What happens when mommy gets a man? Is there a disconnect or a rift that gets formed because we so used to it just being us, and now it's him and us, or him versus us, or mommy and him versus us? Y'all know how to go. I'm not teaching y'all nothing. Shit, I gotta learn myself. I'll holler at y'all though, and I'll get with y'all later. Have a good night. You know what I mean? Peace.